Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to a different kind of live show. Today's video, we're going to be breaking down all of Manchester United's transfer plans, every bit of relevant information we know from reliable sources. We're going to start from defensive plans to midfield plans to attacking plans. And this might be a live show I do once a week where I just spend it, rather than coming out with the news that's come out today or the news that's come out the last hour. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know on Ligt. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know on Braithwaite. That's come from reliable sources in recent days. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know on our centre-back plans, who's like to go, who's like to stay, what's like to happen. We'll talk about Wan-Bissaka as well. We'll talk about alternatives to Braithwaite as that deal appears to be off. Hancko, Inacio, Pacho, give you the latest on that. We'll then get into the exits in terms of midfield, Meshbury, Ericsson, Toney, Casemiro. Then we'll talk about Ugarte, Subamende, what the latest is on that. What is the latest in João Neves? He's very close to joining PSG. What's the latest on Xavi Simons, Desiree Doué, Ivan Toney, and more. So this is called your sort of transfer breakdown live show, where we're going to go through each position from defense to attack and break down all the news that's come out that is relevant in the last few days about this, so you guys can be sort of up to date on everything. And I thought, let's do this rather than just reporting on this story, reporting on that story. Let's actually go and break things down. So if you like this as a series and you want me to do maybe a weekly one of these where I break down everything that we're planning to do and all of our plans, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below if you're new, and of course let me know in the comments below. But let's dive into the news. David said I'm a Liverpool fan and this scares me. So what do we know on Ligt? What do we know on Ligt to Manchester United? So it was said by by Uli Hoinev, I think is the sporting director of Ligt, that it's possible that a defender will leave. Ligt is Dutch, the coach at Manchester United is Dutch. I would have no problem if he stays, but personally I would not sell off Meccano. Basically, that is Bayern Munich's director saying, we want Tar. To bring in Tar, a defender's got to go, and we're not going to sell up Meccano. So Ligt's probably going to go because Man United is Dutch and he's Dutch and they seem to get on well. We know that obviously De Ligt wants to join United. Ten Hag said on Matthijs de Ligt this week, of course I know Matthijs de Ligt. I'm not going to deny it. 2 years ago I wanted to sign him, but he already left for Bayern Munich. And then Ten Hag also revealed that De Ligt was picked out as a potential signing by Ineos, not him, this current window. Now, what is the latest on De Ligt? So Fabrizio Romano said that Matthijs de Ligt remains high on the list after agreeing personal terms to join United, but United wants to include add-ons in the talks as Bayern Munich's 50 million euro fee is considered too high. Bayern Munich want £42 million for De Ligt, which I think is quite a fair fee, but Man United think they can potentially get it cheaper with Bayern Munich's desperation for him to go so they can get Tar in and they can then bring De Ligt to United. Also, Braithwaite is who we prefer over De Ligt, but Braithwaite may be off, which means there could be a big boost in Matthijs de Ligt, but we also have two other Braithwaite alternatives, which we're going to discuss. It was also said that Manchester United have set a specific price for Matthijs de Ligt and will not go any further if Bayern's demands do not match that price. So that's what's been said on reliable sources. Other tier 2 sources have said that United do not want to pay more than 34 million for De Ligt, but Graham Bailey has been quite unreliable lately. But Rich Fay, who's more reliable than Graham Bailey, said that Man United are not ruling out a move for Matthijs de Ligt, even though they've reached an agreement to sign Lenny Euro. The move for De Ligt will now depend on whether they sell Lindelof or Maguire. So let's break down everything you need to know on De Ligt, and then I'm going to talk about the latest on Lindelof and Maguire, and I'm going to talk about the latest on Braithwaite. And basically, the goal of this live is to go through every single position and get every single relevant bit of news that's come out on each player this week to break it all down for you in one show as well. We are cooking in the transfer window at last, and I tell you what, it is great to think that we've got Xerxes and Euro, and then they're going to go on tour, and Man United are hoping to bring Ugarte in and get him on tour as well as the third signing, which we'll talk about in a second. But after Ugarte, United obviously want to make plans for a second centre-back signing, which is most likely to be De Ligt, but it could also be somebody else. We've also got other alternatives. It's exciting that apparently Man United are planning on bringing in at least 2 more players, and there's 2 more exits expected. So now that now that Euro and Xerxes done, Man United are confident they will get another centre back in and a midfield signing, and that they'll be able to sell Lindelof and one of McTominay and Casemiro. United are confident that those 4 deals are going to happen soon. And then depending on other sales, Xavi Simons could happen, or an attacking midfield position could happen, potentially a left back or 30 if Wan-Bissaka is sold. We'll talk about that later in the show. Hopefully De Ligt will rediscover his Ajax form under Ten Hag. Well, De Ligt wasn't that bad at Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich fans are protesting to get De Ligt to stay. Like, De Ligt did quite well at Bayern Munich But yeah, isn't the Branthwaite deal off? It's believed the Branthwaite deal is off. So let's quickly talk about Lindelof and Maguire, because at the end of the day, our chances of getting De Ligt may depend on Lindelof and Maguire, although some sources say that Manchester United will get De Ligt if Bayern move the price, even if they don't sell Lindelof and Maguire. Now, it was said by Samuel Lutkers that Harry Maguire is in a more secure position than Lindelof at Manchester United. The club will trigger the plus 1 year on his contract if he stays. It was said that Manchester United will sign 2 or 3 centre-backs this summer. Lindelof's expected to leave as he has 1 year left on his contract, and Manchester United doing everything possible to sell Victor Lindelof. Now, to add to the news that's come out this week, we've known from news that's come out in the last month that Manchester United have been eager to sell Victor Lindelof for a solid month now. We know that Victor Lindelof's agent has had talks with clubs in Italy and has had talks with clubs in Turkey. So, in regards to Victor Lindelof and Maguire, Man United want to sell both Maguire and Lindelof, but United know that Lindelof will be a lot easier to sell. Maguire, they can extend his deal for plus 1 on his contract, so that means he doesn't leave for free next year, and then they can get a little bit of money for him next summer. Lindelof's the one that's likely to go. United are doing everything to sell Lindelof, because once Lindelof's sold, it's very likely they may put a third and final bid in for Branthwaite, which is likely to be rejected, and finalise potentially the De Ligt deal if Bayern agree on a reasonable fee. But United have also been looking at Inacio, Pacho and Hancko. Other reports, will dive into that in a second. But Lindelof is expected to leave. We know that Lindelof's agency has had talks with a lot of people. That's been confirmed by reliable sources. Lindelof's open to leaving Manchester United for more game time as well. Lindelof's agent is exploring moves. And Man United believe, because Lindelof is on lower wages, because the player is open to leaving himself, that it should be an easier deal to do. And there's an expectation that Lindelof will leave Manchester United this summer. While United would like to sell both Lindelof and Maguire and will be open to offers for Maguire, there's a belief that it's very unlikely that Maguire will leave Manchester United and that he will stay in regards to Lindelof and Maguire, which brings us into Branthwaite, because obviously if we get Lindelof out the door and all of that, we will look to get Branthwaite in. Branthwaite is who we want more than De Ligt. I will tell you that for a fact. Man United want Branthwaite more than they want Matthijs De Ligt. But it is looking like Branthwaite to United is unlikely to happen. It's looking like it's off. It was said by David Ornstein that Everton have informed Manchester United they do not intend to sanction Jarrad Branthwaite's sale this summer. So that's what Everton has said. They're not going to sell Branthwaite. And that Everton will only consider selling Branthwaite if we meet their 70 million plus valuation, which we know Ineos is not going to do. United retain interest, but only if the asking price drops. Everton are saying Branthwaite is not for sale. The asking price is not going to drop. United aren't going to pay the asking price. So as far as we're aware, Branthwaite to United is off. It was also said by other sources that Everton will offer Jarrad Branthwaite a vastly improved contract to compensate him missing out on a transfer to Manchester United. We covered this in my live show earlier. So this is sort of, we're going to get into the midfield in a second, but I want to just round up everything we know about Man United's plan in regards to centre-backs for you guys. So that's some of the stuff that's been said. But what has been reported this week is Manchester United want 2 centre-back signings. They will sign a second centre-back. It will likely depend on Lindelof's departure, which United are working really hard to do. The first choice signing is Jarrad Branthwaite. That is United's dream signing. That is United's key signing. They may make a third and final bid for Branthwaite at £55 million, but it's unlikely that Everton are going to cave and accept that bid despite financial issues, and that Branthwaite probably will stay at Everton next year, which means if they don't get Branthwaite, there's a possibility they get De Ligt. Despite signing Lenny Euro, United still like De Ligt, but they want to make sure that it can go to 50 million euros, including add-ons. They don't want to pay £42 million up front, which is what Bayern Munich want. De Ligt is patiently waiting for Manchester United. He's turned down other clubs to United. He's really eager to move to Manchester United, but he respects that Man United may have to sell and negotiate the price down with Bayern Munich. But De Ligt is there, ready to join Manchester United. We just need to lower the fee. As things stand, the most likely centre-back signing will be Matthijs De Ligt and not Jarrad Branthwaite. But if Everton lower the fee for Branthwaite, I think De Ligt will stay at Bayern Munich. We'll probably test the waters for Branthwaite, and Man United are expected to make a later move for De Ligt. But the signing Man United are currently working on is Ugarte. United have also been looking at William Pacho. They've also been looking at Inacio and obviously Hancko as potential alternatives. Now they can't get Branthwaite in, but some of those at United may feel that they should just go for a second right centre back in De Ligt because he could play left centre back if needed. So that is the latest on the centre-back front. I now want to get into the latest on the midfield front as well. Guys, we'll have over 700 people watching. Can we see if we can hit 300 likes? So please do hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more. So what is the latest in regards to Manchester United and their midfield plans? We were actually linked to Wharton, so I'll just cover this comment here. Wharton is the best DM on the market. Ugarte is one of the worst. He's bad on the ball. I think Ugarte works with Bruno and Kobe Mainoo, but I do think, there's a lot better players that are better on the ball. But I think Ugarte is seen as more of a Casemiro replacement, and he's a good ball carrier. He's just not, and he's a good ball retainer. He's just not maybe a progressive passer like United would want. Now, United actually explored a move for Wharton, according to Court Offside, but he's seen as being too expensive. Manchester United looked at Edson Alvarez. He was seen as too expensive. Manchester United looked to Wharton. He was seen as too expensive. Some sources claim he made a move for Amadou Onana, but that's yet to be confirmed by anyone reliable. Man United have looked at a number of midfielders in the market, and they do like Adam Wharton. But the one that they're working on most likely at the moment is Ugarte, and Subamende is seen as backup for Ugarte if that does not go through and PSG do not lower the price. In terms of midfield exits, it's been said that Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Eriksen are all out of contract in 2025 and can leave for the right offer in summer. Casemiro is also available despite still having 2 years remaining on his contract. So Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Eriksen are all out of contract in 2025, so they'll have the right to leave this summer. Man United want to sell all of those 5 players. There's an expectation that Maguire will probably stay, but Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Eriksen are expected to be sold if the right bid comes in. They also are planning to sell Casemiro, even though he's got 2 years left on his contract. Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United are working on the outgoings with Casemiro and Scott McTominay ready to make room for new midfielder Ugarte. Manchester United are looking to offload those players to make room for Ugarte and potentially a second midfield signing. There is reports of obviously Rabiot coming into Manchester United as well, although that's yet to be confirmed by anyone of tier 1 reliability. It was said, and this is said by The Sun, so this is a little bit less reliable, that club insiders say McTominay is open-minded to the idea of leaving Manchester United for regular first-team football. And considering McTominay's top mentality, I think he's one of those that would leave Manchester United if he thought he was going to be the main man somewhere else and play regular football. Although he does love Manchester United, he knows that he probably won't be a regular player as well. But again, that's come from The Sun, so I would take that one with a pinch of salt. The Sun is saying that Tottenham are looking to hijack Scott McTominay from Fulham as they want to strengthen their midfield. Manchester United want at least £40 million before they consider selling him. Again, it's come from The Sun, but Tottenham are looking at that profile of midfielder in the market. We also know that Fulham is interested in him. West Ham's interested in him. Reports suggest Newcastle showing an interest in McTominay, but I don't think Newcastle showing interest in McTominay, but I don't think Newcastle are looking for that position in the market. There's also been interest from Galatasaray. In regards to Casemiro, it was said that Man United will sell Casemiro if the right offers come in. Casemiro's agent has had talks with Saudi clubs and discussions with Saudi clubs, although interest from Saudi has reportedly cooled. Michael Clark confirms that Man United are hopeful of signing 2 midfielders in the summer, but they will need to generate funds to strengthen the midfield, and that can be achieved by selling Casemiro, Hannibal and Scott McTominay. Man United's plan is to get Casemiro, Hannibal and McTominay out the door, so they have the funds for 2 midfield signings. Because while Ugarte is the first midfield signing we want, it has been said that if Manchester United can sell both McTominay and Casemiro, which is definitely a possibility, assuming that Saudi come back in for Casemiro, they would have the funds to go for 2 midfield signings. Now, the first midfield signing is obviously very likely to be Ugarte, unless PSG do not lower the fee as well. So what has been said in regards to Ugarte to Manchester United? This is a quick update as we covered most of this in my show earlier, but it's been said that Manchester United know that PSG are in very advanced talks to sign João Neves, so they're not going to pay 70 million euros for Ugarte because that will obviously help PSG get João Neves in. They also know that the relationship between United and George Mendes is excellent, and Ugarte is the same agent as Lele Yoro, and obviously Ugarte has personal terms agreed to join United. It was said that Manchester United and PSG are close to reaching an agreement for the transfer of Manuel Ugarte. Manuel Ugarte told PSG that Man United is his number 1 choice, and negotiations ongoing between United and PSG are happening, but it could take some days. It will still take a few days before we get an update on Ugarte. In regards to João Neves, it was said that Benfica chief Rui Costa said that he never said that João Neves would only leave for his release clause, which is £101 million. Benfica are now admitting that João Neves will go for a lot less than £101 million. And in fact, João Neves is very close to signing for PSG for around £59 million, which is 40 million less than his release clause. There is a feeling that United would like to hijack that deal, although United see Ugarte as a better fit with their current midfield. But I think if you can get João Neves for £60 million, I'd be all over that. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd get João Neves and then we'd go and sign Ugarte, and that would be absolutely fantastic. It was also said that PSG and Benfica are negotiating around the £59 million mark for João Neves, and PSG are confident of completing the move. But PSG are waiting on United to complete the Ugarte deal to get that deal done, which means Man United are now waiting for PSG to lower the price of Ugarte because they're not going to pay his €70 million asking price. If PSG do not lower the fee for Ugarte, Manchester United will make a move for Subamende. It was said that Manchester United are looking at Martin Subamende as they consider their options in midfield during the transfer window, and that Martin Subamende is attracting interest from Manchester United. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I think McTominay and Casemiro will look to sell. I think we will sell one of them, and I think we will move for Ugarte, and PSG will lower the price. I think United are interested in Subamende. I think he's an Ugarte alternative, and I think that United will use him to try and get PSG to lower the price. I think in an ideal world, Manchester United would love to sign Ugarte and João Neves, or Ugarte and Subamende. I think they would love to sign someone that's a bit better on the ball to come in on top of Ugarte, and we do know that deep down Man United want to sell two midfielders, but our only chance of signing two midfielders is if Mejbri, McTominay and Casemiro all leave. And considering the lack of interest in Casemiro, there has been some concerns that Casemiro won't leave as well. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. I'm trying to keep this live stream short and sweet and to the point. I basically wanted to do a live show where I go from each position from defence all the way to the attack and just break down all of Manchester United's plans in regards to that as well. What's the latest on Wan-Bissaka? Man United expect that West Ham are going to make a bid, although West Ham sources are saying it's not as close as United believe. Do I think we'll hijack the João Neves deal? I don't think so, but you just don't know with Ineos. We know Xerxes had an agreement with AC Milan and that was done. Euro was destined for Real Madrid and that was done. You don't know with Ineos, but I do think that João Neves, as of now, is very, very likely to end up at PSG. If I'm going to be honest, Kudus is better in the PL-proven version of Simons. I like Mohamed Kudus. There is reports of him having a release clause, but I don't think that comes into place till next year. Apparently, he's open to leaving West Ham. But again, it might cost a fortune to get Kudus in, but I do like Kudus as well. We're on 199 likes. We've got over 800 people watching, so big up everybody in the chat as well. What is the latest on Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw is staying at United as well. Who do you think will sign next? Ugarte. It's believed that we'll sign Ugarte next. It's believed we'll sign Ugarte in the next week. It's believed that Man United will sign Ugarte and another centre-back in the next 2 weeks, and also have 2 sales done in the next 2 weeks. We are going to give you the latest on attack. We are going to give you the latest on Xavi Simons and a couple other stories coming in. It's been said by Ligt that Manchester United have been working on a deal to bring Xavi Simons to Old Trafford for a year now, and that Manchester United are pursuing a move for PSG Xavi Simons and trying to hijack a potential move to Germany. Bayern and RB Leipzig have inquired about the services of Simons last season as the PSG loanee are leading. As Bayern Munich and Leipzig have inquired about the services of Simons last season as PSG loanee, and they are leading the race to sign him. So obviously we know that United are working on a deal to bring Xavi Simons to Old Trafford. They've been following him for a while, and they're potentially looking to hijack his move to Germany. But Bayern and RB Leipzig are way ahead of Man United in the race for Xavi Simons. Romano said that Manchester United have asked for information regarding Xavi Simons after confirming Toney will continue as their manager. And PSG are ready to allow Simons to go out on loan, but only with an obligation to buy, and that structure would suit United. And that Erik ten Hag is weighing up a loan move for Xavi Simons. So in regards to Xavi Simons and his future, it's one of those where right now we're interested in Xavi Simons. I think if Sancho leaves, you make a move for Xavi Simons, but he's a lot closer to Germany. I think Xavi Simons is focused on Germany. He's a lot closer to Germany, but with Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in with our interest in Xavi Simons, it's definitely one to watch, but it feels like he's going to go to Germany. But we've had a lot of conversations with PSG recently, not just on Ugarte, on other players. Romano said when we spoke to PSG about Ugarte, we also discussed other players and other deals. Xavi Simons is believed to be one that's been discussed and addressed. I think he'll end up in Germany, but I think if Sancho goes, we may make a move for Xavi Simons. Now, Manchester United, deep down, while they're acting like Sancho's going to stay and everything's okay, deep down, Man United plan to sell Sancho and bring in someone that can play on the wings. Xavi Simons, Pedro Neto, and Desiree Doué have been looked at since, obviously, Elise has gone to Bayern Munich as well. We're 17 likes away from 300 likes, guys, so please do continue to hit that like button. And, of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Stephanie says, can't wait for Xerxes debut, me too. Rashford, Xerxes, Ahmad would work so well, that front three. And I love Garnacho. Garnacho would work as well, but Rashford, Xerxes, Ahmad, I think would work particularly well. Richard Joseph says, hi Alice, excellent content. Appreciate you for tuning into the show and showing the support. Big up everybody in the chat as well. So let's dive into the next bit of information. So that's obviously what's been said on Xavi Simons. In regards to us bringing in the Arsenal youth star, it said that Manchester United aim to move quickly in talks for Chido Obi Martin, with the player keen on the move. Interest from other clubs is not as advanced at this stage, and that Chido Obi Martin has told academy players that he'll be joining Manchester United. So the Arsenal academy star actually told his teammates that he's joining Manchester United. So I'm going to do a summary of all the attacking news in regards to United and attacking plans. We've obviously covered the main stories on the slides, but there's a few other stories there. Man United were considering a move for Ivan Toney on top of Joshua Zirkzee, although Manchester United have now informed Brentford they will not buy Ivan Toney and pay the price it's going to take to bring Ivan Toney in. There's been more sources, more reports and more information coming out and saying that United are very unlikely to get Ivan Toney. Manchester United is still open to offers for Jadon Sancho, but they're happy for him to stay. Mason Greenwood has left Manchester United. Man United are open to selling Anthony and are very much open to selling Anthony, but as long as someone covers his wages. So in terms of attacking outs, Anthony can go if someone covers his wages. Pelistri, Man United are open to selling, and there has been bids coming in, but United want 50 million for Pelistri. Amad Diallo is safe. Garnacho is safe. Rashford, if he wants to go and a bid comes in, he can go. Although with Joshua Zirkzee coming in, I think Rashford is more or less safe, because it would make no sense to sign Zirkzee without Rashford. The only wingers that are really up for sale is Pelistri's up for sale. Anthony could go if anyone pays his wages, and Sancho and Man United are happy to keep but willing to consider offers for. I think Man United wants Sancho and Pelistri out the door, so then they have the funds to go for a winger or an attacking signing. Obviously, Toney's been one that's looked at, but I think a winger's probably more what United need. They've obviously looked at Pedro Neto, but concerned about price and injury record. They've lost out on Michael Elise. There was rumours of Chiesa to United, but that's very unlikely to happen according to credible reports. Desiree Doué and Xavi Simons are the two wingers we've looked at the most, followed by Pedro Neto. So potentially if Sancho sold on some funds there, we could go for Pedro Neto if Desiree Doué and Xavi Simons have been swooped up by German clubs that seem very advanced to sign them. That is the latest on the attack. In midfield, it's all eyes on Ugarte. Ugarte is expected to be United's next signing, but Subamendi is an alternative. If Man United sell efficiently, Casemiro, Hannibal and McTominay, they may make a move for both Subamendi and Ugarte as United look to bring in two midfield signings. In regards to the fullback, Wan-Bissaka is expected to maybe go to West Ham. West Ham are interested in the deal. They're preparing a bid, but it depends on that. And if he does go to West Ham, United apparently will look at 30 as left back and right back cover. And it was said in regards that now Branthwaite is likely off, United may go for Ligt if buying lower the fee. If they don't look at the Ligt, they'll be looking at William Pacho. They'll be looking at Inacio. They'll be looking at Hancko as potential alternatives to Ligt. So that's a little bit of an update on everything you need to know in regards to United's transfer plans. We're on 330 likes, people, so please do hit that like button as well. Alice, what WTF are you on with all this Rashford rubbish today? There's no point in signing Zirkzee if you're going to sell Rashford, because Rashford and Zirkzee are perfect players for each other. I don't think Rashford will leave Manchester United. I don't think Manchester United will. I don't think so. I don't think Rashford will leave Manchester United. I don't think it's up for sale. But I think if Rashford wanted to go and we got a good offer, and I think Ineos would accept it. We've got over 900 people watching, so please do continue to hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more. We're on 312 likes, so big up everybody in the chat. What I wanted this show to be was a show where we literally keep it to like 25 minutes, and I just go through all of Manchester United's plans. Man United's plans is basically keep Amad, keep Garnacho, keep Maino, keep Hoyland, keep the young players, get rid of the main bulk sold. And I'm going to show you an outline of what Manchester United could very likely look next season. I'm going to show you what Man United sort of plan and potential lineup could look like next season. So we're going to summarize all this news into a lineup here for you guys. And by summarizing all this news, Man United could potentially look something like this next season. Now, this would be Hoyland and Zirkzee as the strikers, Garnacho, Amad and Sancho as the right wing options, Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho as left wing options, Bruno, Mount, Amad as 10 options, Maino, Mount and Amrabat as 8 options, Ugarte, Maino, Collier and Amrabat if he comes back as 8 options, as Man United is set to make a decision on Amrabat this week, and they may look to bring in one of Amrabat or Rabiot as a second midfield signing. 30 may come in if Wan-Bissaka is sold, and De Ligt now more likely than Branthwaite. And I did a breakdown of what Manchester United's transfer plans could well and truly look like next season. And in my breakdown of what Man United's transfer plans could look like, this is what was said. Based off credible reports, Man United may look something like this next season. Euro +1 of Ligt or Branthwaite, but Ligt looking more likely as Branthwaite price is crazy. Ugarte is expected to be the DM, and Xerxes is obviously the centre forward. Man United may look for a cheaper second midfield signing like Amrabat or Rabiot to strengthen, and on the wing they've looked at Doué, Simons and Pedro Neto, but this could likely depend on whether Sancho sold. If the second centre-back signing, aka De Ligt, cannot cover the left-back position, they may look to bring in someone like Reguilon on loan, although if Wan-Bissaka sold, they may get 30 and he'll be backup left-back and right-back. In terms of attack, Greenwood and Martial have gone. They're looking for offers for Pellistri and potentially Anthony and Sancho that are open to selling. McDominay, Ericsson, Mejbri and Casemiro are all up for sale. Varane has gone and Lindelof, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka are up for sale. If a lot of money is raised through sales, they could potentially sign 3 centre-backs if both Maguire and Lindelof leave, but I think that's unlikely. And if a lot of money is raised through sales, they could sign a second midfielder that's a bit more valuable than Amrabat and Rabiot, like Subamende, like João Neves, but we'd have to sell well to do that. And right now, it's looking like United squad could look like that next season as well. But guys, I am going to wrap up the live show here. I am going to be back live later today, but I wanted to keep this to like a 25-minute live show where all I am doing is breaking down United's plans from defence to attack. This is all the news that's come out in the last week. So you know everything that's really happening right now in regards to United's plans and what they want to build. If we do get any breakthroughs or any breaking news, of course, I'll be live later today to update you guys on that. But thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. Bye.